to learn to play at such a later stage in your life, that in itself it sounds incredibly difficult. But you said something a moment ago, and let me just sort of go back to that for a moment. I really want to emphasize that it got me tearful in that moment that we can't change our childhood, but we can, what was the phrase, relearn how to remember it.
We can change how we feel about it, and we can reparent that little younger version of ourselves. So for some people, like for some of my clients, for instance, they don't feel that they're lovable or that they're good enough because they weren't loved in a way that they needed to be loved. And, you would think, well, that's it. It's gone now. I can't fix that. I can't change that. Well, no, you can't change your experience of those years ago, but you can begin to love yourself in ways that you need to do it. And there's processes I use where me as the healthy adult will go in and have conversations with the younger version of myself, ask her what she needed, what would she have liked, what would have been important, and have conversations with her, and I would facilitate those kinds of conversations with my clients. And it's incredibly emotional and heartwarming, and to really tune in to those younger parts and tell them that they are wonderful, and tell them, and for a lot of younger parts, they feel that whatever was going on in the house was their fault, be that the divorce or the fighting between parents or whatever else is going on. They take the blame for it and they say, well, that's my fault. It's because there's something wrong with me. And to reparent that in someone is incredible.
As you could see, I got quite emotional because I'm actually going through that journey myself.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm 52 now, dealing with things that happened to me when I was 10 and feeling exactly like that, and trying to reprogram, I suppose, as you say, my memory of it, or the way I'm dealing with it now.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly powerful to be able to move forward, because it has been absolutely crippling, that weight, I'm not worthy, I'm not loved.
Yeah. And it can be, incredibly powerful. And my clients, who tend to be kind of quite like me in that they're the achievers, the controllers, the perfectionists, and, to have them tell the younger parts of themselves, I love you, and to really and keep repeating it until the younger part lets it in, because there tends to be a lot of resistance to that, and it's just incredibly powerful.
It is. One of my previous guests, Kellen, I think his episode went out in January. He's a Canadian coach, and he taught me that, we were talking about it, how difficult it is to stand in front of the mirror and say to yourself, I love you. And he actually recommends 3 minutes of it. Now, I started doing that pretty much straight away, and I still do, not quite every day, but very often, almost every day. In the morning, I do self-care, and that has become an integral part of my teachings as well, to advise people within their emotional health management, because emotional health is one of the core health pillars. Self-care is stupendously important, and apparently people finding it very, very hard to say to themselves, I love you.
Yeah, I've had clients who we talk about, and I'll talk about self-love and self-care and love and acceptance, of all the parts of us, especially the parts we don't like. The perfectionist parts, the parts we think are broken or unacceptable. Like, I think for a majority of my life, I was told I was too much and too bossy, and so I didn't particularly like that part of myself. But I've learned to love her, and just allow myself to be who I am.